Dear brothers and sisters, good morning.
Benvenuti tutti.
Welcome everybody. The mystery of death has always raised profound questions in human beings. Indeed, it seems to be the most natural and, at the same time, most unnatural event that exists. It is natural because every living being on earth dies. It is unnatural because the desire for life and eternity that we all feel for ourselves and for the people that we love makes us see death as a sentence, as a contradiction. Many ancient peoples developed rites and customs which were linked to the cult of the dead, to accompany and to recall those who journeyed toward the supreme mystery. Today, however, we see a different trend. Death seems to be a sort of taboo, an event to keep at a distance, something to be spoken of in hushed tones, to avoid disturbing our sensibilities and our tranquility. This is often why we avoid visiting cemeteries, where those who have gone before us rest, as they await resurrection. So, what is death? Is it truly the last word on our lives? Only human beings ask themselves this question, because only they know that they must die. But being aware of this does not save them from death. On the contrary, in a certain sense, it burdens them compared to other living creatures. Animals suffer, of course, and they realize that death is near. But they do not know that death is part of their destiny. They do not question the meaning, the purpose, and outcome of life. In considering this aspect, one might then think that we are paradoxical, unhappy creatures, not only because we die, but also because we are certain that this event will happen, even though we do not know how or when. We find ourselves aware and, at the same time, powerless. This is probably where the frequent repressions and existential flights from the question of death originate. Saint Alphonsus Maria de Liguri, in his famous work Apparecchio alla morte, Preparation for Death, reflects on the pedagogical value of death, emphasizing that it can be a great teacher of life. To know that it exists, and above all, to reflect on it, teaches us to choose what we really want to make of our existence. Praying in order to understand what is beneficial in view of the kingdom of heaven, and letting go of the superfluous, which instead binds us to ephemeral things, is the secret to living authentically, in the awareness that our passage on earth prepares us for eternity.
Eppure molte visioni antropologiche attuali promettono immortalità.
Yet many current anthropological views promise imminent immortality, theorize the prolongation of earthly life through technology. This is the transhuman scenario, which is making its way into the horizon of the challenges of our time. Could death really be defeated by science? But then, could science itself guarantee us that a life without death is also a happy life? The event of the resurrection of Christ reveals to us that death is not opposed to life, but rather is a constitutive part of it, as the passage to eternal life. The Pasch of Jesus gives us a foretaste, in this time, which is still full of sufferings and trials, of the fullness of what will happen after death. The evangelist Luke seems to grasp this harbinger of light in the dark when, at the end of that afternoon when darkness had shrouded Calvary, he writes, quote, "It was the day of preparation, and the Sabbath was beginning." This light, which anticipates Easter morning, already shines in the darkness of the sky, which still appears overcast and mute. The lights of the Sabbath, for the first and only time, herald the dawn of the day after the Sabbath, the new light of the resurrection. Only this event is capable of illuminating the mystery of death to its full extent. In this light, and only in this, what our heart desires and hopes becomes true. That is, that death is not the end, but rather the passage toward full light, toward a happy eternity. The risen one has gone before us in the great trial of death, emerging victorious thanks to the power of divine love. Thus he has prepared for us the place of eternal rest, the home where we are awaited. He has given to us the fullness of life, in which there are no longer any shadows and contradictions. Thanks to him who died and rose again for love, with Saint Francis we can call death our sister. Awaiting it with the sure hope of the resurrection preserves us from the fear of disappearing forever, and prepares us for the joy of life without end.